Hey everyone, good to see you. Welcome back to the channel. Want to give you a quick update on what I essentially can call the month of mayhem, about a 5-week span of content and activities that I'm going to be covering here on the channel. It's going to be very hectic. God willing, it all goes to plan this time. The last time I took a big trip, it didn't go quite according to plan. So consider everything I'm about to tell you subject to change, unless unless I actually produce the content on it and the events actually happen. So I am leaving tomorrow for Indianapolis. I will be covering the Jimmie Johnson IndyCar test. That happens at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's been rescheduled for the 28th of July. Planning on having, if you watch my Aeroscreen coverage from last year, it's probably going to be very similar to that. Probably going to go live at the track at some point, talk to you guys while I'm there. Going to film a wrap-up segment at the track, talk about kind of what happened if Jimmie crashes the car, XYZ, all those things, and just in general how he looked, how much he ran, because I don't think that there's going to be a ton of coverage of it, and since I'm going to be going out there anyway, figure I will bring that coverage to you. Hopefully also do like a pure sound video or stuff, so probably 3 videos from that. Immediately after that, like the day or two after, I'll be headed to Mid-Ohio, and that is for a triple header that the Road to Indy will be putting on. Now, you guys really seem to appreciate my Road to Indy coverage at Road America, so I figure I'm going to continue that because, again, going to be in town anyway, going to have a lot of things to do both in Indiana and Ohio over the next couple of weeks, so hopefully we'll be bringing you some content from the Road to Indy, keep you guys up to date on the rising stars in IndyCar. After that, it's going to be a very personal thing to me. I will be participating in my 3rd Battle at the Brickyard USAC karting event at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And while I can't announce exactly who yet, we did actually bring in some partners, aka sponsors, for the event. And I'm really excited to represent a couple of different brands at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's really exciting. I'm excited to kind of get into the business side of racing, understand what that takes, and hopefully move my driving career forward based on that. So that'll be fun. Excited to do that. Excited to get back to racing. I haven't been in a race car or a racing machine since I passed my Formula Ford SCCA test back in November. So going to be a little bit rusty. Don't expect me to win or anything, but it's going to be fun to race there. And I don't know how much coverage I'm actually going to do there. Probably for sure go live a couple of times. I don't know if I'll have time to do a vlog or if I'll have the manpower to film one that's kind of up to the quality standard I want to make. But I'll definitely keep you guys informed about what's happening there. So after that, I'm going to go back to Ohio for the doubleheader, literally just announced, or just, the story just broke, even though we pretty much all knew this was going to happen. Doubleheader at Mid-Ohio, the week before the festivities for the Indianapolis 500 start. Pretty standard stuff. You guys know what to expect from me at an IndyCar race, the coverage level there. After Mid-Ohio, it is the what is essentially going to be the 2 weeks of the Indy 500, the month of August. It's not a full practice week. I think they've cut out a day and about maybe three. They've cut 2 days of practice out and probably about 4 or 5 hours of practice. I think each practice session is ending 30 minutes earlier than it usually would. So it's going to be less practice, but again, fingers crossed, everything goes normal. Expect fairly normal coverage from me from there. What you guys saw last year during Indy 500 month in May, that will be the same. So daily reports, anything else that particularly happens, I'll be on top of. I'm also hopefully going to be able to, again, depending on access, bring you guys some more interesting content. I've got a couple of ideas that I'd really like to get done this year's Indianapolis 500, but again, we'll have to see. You guys know what to expect me from Indy 500, IndyCar coverage at this point. So that's going to be a crazy 2 weeks. It's going to be an exciting 2 weeks. It's always the biggest week for channel growth, so I can't wait for it. And then the week after that, going to be going to Gateway. Now, I don't think this is officially announced yet, but I'm pretty sure that race is also going to be a doubleheader. 2 full-length IndyCar races. So that'll be my first time at Gateway. I think there's also a NASCAR Truck Series race, so there'll be a little bit of NASCAR coverage coming in as well on the channel. So that's what I'm planning on doing right now. Again, we're sitting here at the end of July. Who knows what things are going to look like at the end of August. But I hope you guys will be sticking with me. If any of that interests you, by the way, go check out my Patreon page. I try not to shill this too much. I've had so many great supporters stick with me through this entire pandemic, and I can't wait to give you guys the level of coverage that you've been deserving this entire time at these races from me. But if any of that interests you, be sure to go over there. The only thing I will say that the Patreon supporters won't really have a big part in is the personal racing, the go-karting. I try not to spend the Patreon money on anything personal related to me. I try to make sure it goes to channel expenses, travel expenses, producing content. I think that's the most ethical way to do it. And at this point, I think selling my own sponsorships that are separate from Patreon is probably going to be the way to go with the racing. Keeps the business and the pleasure kind of separated, at least in terms of financing. So if you guys have any concern about that, if you're a Patreon supporter or somebody thinking about becoming a Patreon supporter, just figure I'd be transparent, open, and honest about where things are going and how funds are being allocated. Outside of that, I can't wait. It's going to be so exciting. Thank you guys for sticking with me this long. It's almost the Indy 500. Got a few more races to talk about before then. It's going to be fun. Can't wait to see you guys in the comments section.